So because I knew that Shimon and Ora were going to be here, and I know that Shelly is here, and I know we've got some other Ramah people in the room, and Ramah Poconos people in particular, I thought I would talk today about a day-off destination that a lot of counselors from Ramah and the Poconos would like to go to, or did go to in my day. It's called Naog Gorge. Naog Gorge is outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Yes, Scranton, Pennsylvania of The Office fame and fortune. Naog Gorge was created by a glacier that melted in the Ice Age 11,500 years ago. But that is actually not why it is famous. Why Camp Ramah staff members take days off to go and see this site. It is famous because there is a boardwalk overlooking the scenic overlook, and there is a little plaque on it in bronze that reads the following. On this site, in 1897, nothing happened. Now, over the years, this plaque has been duplicated. People have it hanging in their homes. It is hilarious. Yet I think for a lot of us, it also touches just a little bit of a nerve. Because when we see a bronze plaque, at least outside of shul, let's say, we expect the plaque to tell us some kind of interesting story. We expect to read a plaque that says, on this site in 1897, some great explorer came here and conquered something. Or we expect the plaque to say that something of consequence happened in this one particular place. Only this plaque, somewhat irreverently, I think we can all add, marks the complete opposite. There is no story. And it points out that there are a great many places in the world where nothing of consequence ever happens. Naog Gorge, like so many other places, remains forever an untapped place of potential, a beautiful scenic overlook that no one notices because they're too busy looking at the plaque that says in 1897, nothing happened in this place. One of my teachers, Rabbi Sid Schwartz, had the following to say about synagogue life, but I think you can also say it about Jewish life and life in particular. He would say that two things simultaneously are always true. Number one, that nothing has to happen, and that number two, anything can happen. And as I began to reflect on this particular plaque in Sukkot, I couldn't help but think of in how many ways this line and this plaque are the perfect metaphors for what our holiday, our Chag Sukkot, is really all about. Where do we build our sukkah each and every year? Each year, our synagogue sukkah takes a place in our parking lot that every other day of the year is what? Just a parking space, nothing. Honestly, there's really nothing special about that blacktop. You may as well put a plaque on it that says, in 5783, nothing happened on this spot. But then, we take the blacktop, where nothing has to happen, and we make anything, something happen. We then take a bunch of wood, some random metal poles. In any other universe, the poles in my sukkah in the backyard would have been used for some plumbing project somewhere probably. Nothing special, maybe even melted down in a scrapyard. And then we build a structure. We then collect bamboo mats. And I think it's so funny, I get this bamboo mat made in China with an OK kashrut on side of the package. Nothing of any consequence. In China, it would probably mean nothing. But then we give those bamboo mats meaning. We take a sukkah, we dwell for it in a week, we take nothing at all, and we turn it into something. There's a great story I read about recently in the Sukkot anthology by Philip Birnbaum. It talks about how in 1939 there was a ship called the Zamzam. And the Zamzam arrived in New York Harbor carrying a cargo that proved to be absolutely worthless. The cargo, Birnbaum says, had it arrived a few days earlier when it was scheduled to, would have netted the booksellers at the time on Canal Street several thousands of dollars, which was a lot of money back in 1939. Anyone guess what the cargo was? According to the ship's manifest, the cargo was called Citrus Medica, what we would call an etrog. An etrog, for most of the year, let's be clear, is something relatively worthless. It's a bit sour. If you mix it with a lot of sugar, it can make a somewhat tasty jelly. But for 1 week only every year, it has precious value. We elevate this Citrus Medica. We call it one of the Arba Minim, one of the 4 species. We equate the etrog with being the human heart, according to the rabbis. We parade around the sanctuary holding it. Unfortunately, what happened to this particular Egyptian ship, the Zamzam? The cargo arrived a week late and missed the holiday, reminding us once again that nothing can happen, nothing has to happen, but anything can happen. Sukkot is a powerful reminder of the power of what it means to live life as a committed Jew doing mitzvahs. It is a statement that anything can happen in our world where nothing has to happen. Jews who are committed to mitzvot, committed to observing holidays, take ordinary things and we turn them into things that are extraordinary. We all know the old adage, if a tree falls in the forest, but no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? For that matter, if a lulav falls in the forest, but no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Today, let's not take for granted there are lots of Jews in our world who probably don't even know that today is Sukkot. Their decks and back porches do not have sukkahs. They have no plans to parade around the sanctuary, come back tomorrow to taste Israeli wines, come get ribeyes with the rabbis tonight, not even on their horizon at all. The tree in the forest is supposedly the great unanswered question. But I think as Jews, we know the answer. If you don't see a tree fall, if you live a life without mitzvot, it's like living a life full of plaques that say, in 5783, on this spot, nothing happened. As Jews, we call Sukkot Zman Simchatenu, the time of our joy, reminding us that the reverberations from a tree, and yes, from a lulav, create joy in our lives if we take the time to celebrate the moments. There are a great many people who go to Neog Gorge in Scranton just to see the plaque, but don't look at the beautiful gorge right in front of them in that moment. What they see is a parking lot instead of a place where, and for 358 days a year, is a place just waiting for a sukkah to be built on it. Or they see a citron, Citrus Maxima, and not an etrog. But you, my friends, are here, physically or at home, because you didn't want to miss those things, did you? That's why you're here. And so together, let's all spread the word. Let's make 5783 a year where anything can happen. Chag Sameach. And if you've never been to Neog Gorge, go take a look. Outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. I mean, really, nothing quite happened there, but you know.